Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, March 29th, 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are coming back every week, listening to this podcast, giving me the feedback, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining, for listening, for supporting. And for those of you who are new to this podcast today, welcome. I hope that you connect, that you find something that inspires you and helps you as you listen to this podcast today. As always, well, if you're new, you don't know, I'm on several platforms. So if you're listening to this through YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. I'm also on Facebook under business page Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Media. I'm on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. I'm on TikTok under Lisa M. Hopp. So thank you. Please join me there. I would appreciate it so very much. And the platforms, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, all the platforms you may be listening on. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it so very much. So today's topic, you see who you are. It's very true. And you would think, Lisa, I am not a war within me. Yes, you are. And then you multiply it by mass consciousness. Because in order for things to happen in our world, there has to be mass consciousness behind it. Even if it's apathy, it is mass consciousness. So what have you been noticing on the outside in your world? The outside of your inner self, your inner emotions, your inner thoughts, your inner fears. What is popping up? Do you believe, for instance, and feel the inside of you that you have to work hard for the money, or that money is hard to come by, or that money is evil, or that some cheat to get wealthy? There's corruption all around us, that our government is corrupt. All politicians are corrupt. I hear that one so much. All are. It's all of them. Well, then you will get evidence of it in your environment. But not just through a government body, but also you will see corruption among your personal people, perhaps your family, perhaps your friends, perhaps your employer. What you believe, you see. What you feel, especially, you see. Beliefs are something else. Actually, almost titled this podcast, The Battle of Beliefs. But when I use the word battle, our perceptions, what we're taught, what we think we know, it's all from what we're exposed to. And here's the thing as well. There are so many of us. Well, I have a personal page on Facebook as well, and so sometimes I'll notice my friends on the news feed posting. And they're always trying to inform. They're always getting, not all of them, but a good number, riled up, angry about things they witness. And so they post what is truthful, but what they don't understand is that by posting it, you're causing more of it. And so there's a line that we have to watch. They may come from a good place. They do. They actually do. They have good intentions. But they're running up against a block. And the block is that who they're trying to inform isn't going to listen because of their own beliefs and emotions. They would say, perhaps they would say, they're just, they would name call them. The people they're trying to inform would probably name call them. And perhaps the ones trying to inform would name call. But when you lower your energy as like that, when you, go to a level where you are name calling, where you are using angry rhetoric, phrases, beliefs, you will see more evidence of that in the future. And I'm not going to use any examples of names today. And I'm also, today, I will say to you that yes, sometimes we insult people in our lives. But when you insult, you get back more reason to insult. But also, the way the natural laws work, that are working whether you're consciously aware of them or not, and most of us, well, we're coming to a conscious awareness, but a lot are not consciously aware yet. What is not realized is that when you're name calling, people are name calling you. When you're talking behind someone's back, people are talking behind yours. When whatever behavior you are putting out within yourself is going to bounce back on you. It is natural law. So it's very important, as much as you can, to be in the present moment and to be aware. You start with an awareness. What am I emitting from my energy? If you're emitting a sense of not enough, whether it be about yourself or about money or about health, I'm not healthy enough, I'm not thin enough, I am not vacationing enough, whatever it may be of enough, you will get reason back. You will get evidence back that that is true. And then you continue to believe it, because a lot of us like to have that physical 3D evidence. Matter, as it's called. So when we see it, we believe it more. Sometimes we have to see it to believe it. But even Wayne Dyer, among many teachers, and myself as well, would say to you that you get what you believe. And that it starts from the energy within you, not from the evidence in your environment. The evidence in your environment changes when you change your inner self. It's the only way it changes, really. Now, you would say to me, but Lisa, again back to war. Who is inside of me would never start a war, would never put people in harm's way. Perhaps you would even say I would not vote for people who would do that. And maybe some of you, of course, would say I did vote for that. You get who you are. Meaning there is a part of you that wants to start a war with someone, who has started a war with someone, even if it's yourself. What battle are you warring within you? We all have a survivor side. We all have a side of us that can get riled up. We all have a side of us that is capable of harm. It's just about knowing that side is there and then making sure that we don't let it rule us or be a major part of us. You know, the hardest working people in this universe are probably monks. The monks that walk the U.S. with their dog. They're the hardest workers because they had to overcome everything that would take away their peace, that would take away their compassion, their empathy. They probably meditate on that constantly. And meditation's powerful, by the way. Meditate. I don't meditate. Up to this day, I have not meditated enough. And every day I get a reminder to meditate. Because meditation is centering yourself and connecting into Source, which is God. And you can call God anything you want: Creator, Source, Universe, Energy, Yahweh, whatever you want to call God. It's the energy responds to you, and it doesn't matter what name you call it. You can even insult it and it will respond to you. That's where Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh came from. Yelling at God, and God responded, because God always responds. But also God responds to what you put out too, and does it with a big, I don't want to say a big smile, but a big energetic okay with it. Because how do we learn? How do we grow? How do we create? Unless our circumstances help us to do that. So while that energy is all about love, immeasurable love, mercy, don't let any human tell you differently, please. Because that's a belief system. When they're telling you different, that there might be an energy that's angry with you, that's judging you, that gives you free will, and when you screw up, you have to pay the cost. Now, yes, there are consequences to action. That's natural law. Cause and effect. There's also the natural law of rhythm. What goes up comes down. So stock market is an example, but a stock market's emotional. But I'm using that example of sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down, and then it goes up again, and people get upset. They're like, oh no, should I cash out? Should I not? Law of rhythm, it'll go back up again. What do you want to do? Try not to go from a place of fear or panic, because that you'll get more of. You see where I'm going with this plainly? Try not to have fear. Heaven is telling us relentlessly to stop our fear, to be fearless, to be calm, to trust, to have faith. We are supported. We are provided for. You know, there's infinite. That energy is infinite. You are tied into the infinite. There is no need for competition. There is no need to get upset about someone having more than you. That is probably a whole nother podcast. But for today, watch how you feel when you hear good news about someone. If you are happy for them and so happy that you feel joy, that you want to cry or off of their win, you're on the excellent wavelength to get more of those blessings into you. I was speaking this morning before I got on about a moment I had a couple years ago, almost 3 years ago, where I was genuine. I had generosity. Why can't I get that word out? I had generosity with someone who did not expect me to have generosity. I'm a little like tongue-tied today. And they were so overwhelmingly grateful. And I was, of course it was the right thing. You have this coming. You know, I didn't even, to me, I did. Here's the thing, you have to give unconditionally. It's really so important. I didn't give saying, okay, I mean, you know, I might note as a human being sometimes when people don't say thank you, but I don't give in order to hear the thank you. So it's a little part of me that would go, I noticed it. But it's, you know, if I give someone a cup of coffee too, in my own home, you know, I'll note it. It's like, okay, it's because I really didn't want to. When you don't give unconditionally, you want the payback. You want the acknowledgement. You're not doing it free. Notice that. But we really are, if we want to be in the highest wavelength of receiving, with increase, with multiplication, 10 times, 100 times, 1,000,000 times over, it is so important to give unconditionally. It's the only way to get it done. So I gave this person generosity. And they, as I said, were so grateful that I was, made me happier to do it. It was like, oh, it was the right thing. Oh, wow, it's okay. I'm happy you're happy, of course. And then I came into a significant amount of money. I think it was even that evening or the next day, that I didn't expect, that I didn't try for, that I was not even, I was so detached from it. And so it came in, and I knew immediately it was a response to me. It was a response to me. What I put out from the inside came back to me multiplied on the outside. And yes, it was more than 10 times over. And so, but again, if you give expecting to get back, it won't occur. Not the way you want it, not the way you would hope for it. When there's someone I've known in my life that I like to say, they write invoices for everything they do. When you write invoices, you'll never feel those invoices are paid. Don't write the invoice. But yes, you can say yes. You can say no. I don't give all the time. I don't give to every charity that asks me. I don't give enough to charity, by the way, I've noted. Just, well, yesterday. I'm laughing because it was just yesterday. And I noted it. Give more. Give more from the heart. Give more from the unconditional you. Give more out of joy. Do not give unless it's about that. Now, one time, someone was not treating me well. Yes, a shock. And I didn't understand. I wasn't omitting anything to have it come back. But was I? I just in this moment realized, I think I did. It was not regarding them, it was regarding another person. Well, I did not have the generosity I should have had earlier in the day. And this person treated me like I was not a giving person. That I did not deserve to have courtesy. That I did not deserve to have empathy. Not just me, my party with me. And so I just realized in this moment I did ask for it. But here's the thing I do want to tell you. That some part of me knew that. Maybe didn't connect the two all together, the two incidents with two different people in two different locations. But I had the opportunity for that person that I wasn't the most thoughtful of or had generosity about before. I had the opportunity, we crossed our paths again. And then I was. And you know that person had no vibe that said, I remember you. You didn't have generosity towards me. No, they were happy to see me. They remembered. Of course, they were happy that they remembered. And I made sure to be generous with them that day. And they were so grateful. But I did it to make up. I did it not only for that day, but to also, I felt like I owed it to them from the past, but it was a knowing inside. It wasn't because I had circumstances tell me I should. It wasn't to pay a debt back or anything like that. It was, I didn't have my best moment last time I saw them. I'm going to make up for that moment right now. And then when we see each other again, it's going to be even better. It was a decision within myself about who I want to be. And so your circumstances, your environment will show you who you are. And then you decide who you are. So I always try, in the moment I'll give more than. And also, I've read a wonderful book called The Having. It's two authors that are Korean. And I'm going to say it like it doesn't sound. It's one of the names is SOO, second name YUN, and then Lee, LEE. I think it's the name is pronounced as two females, Suquan Lee. And the other one, her last name is Hong. And it is about, the having is knowing you have everything you want in the present moment. That everything, you are who you are in the present moment, but you take life in the moment so succinctly that, and I've started doing this. They drink coffee, and they'll drink the coffee with two hands, and they'll look at the coffee, and they'll savor the coffee. They don't have the coffee next to them while they do other tasks on a computer or, something else, or taking a walk. I have this coffee right now and I'm savoring this moment. And also what they do is they make sure wherever they enter that they smile at everyone, that they lock. Now, sometimes people don't want to lock eyes with me. So I did this the other day. I made a point to have the having in my brain the other day. And I entered a place. I entered a restaurant. And I locked eyes with people who locked eyes with me. Some didn't, right? And then I smiled. And they smiled broadly back. And then I saw this wonderful, beautiful child. And I made sure to stop and smile at them and say hello. And their parents or, relatives said, say hi back. And the child did. Just like a little, infant, toddler, very small. And I did that because in that moment, I'm emitting joy. I'm in the present moment. And that wonderful energy, it's not only pleasant overall, by the way, but the extra win-win is that I just raised my vibration, and I raised the vibration of the room by doing that. Even if there are other people that are like, no, I do not want to look at you. I want to have a private moment. We can all be there. We can all have moments where it's like, not today. But I saw it. I felt it raise up. And then I got the lunch I was hoping for. I I savored that too. When you're eating, be in the moment. And thank Source for that food. Thank Source for the money. Thank Source or God for everything. Have gratitude. And that also raises your vibration. So what if you do things like this? I recommend reading this book. It's awesome. And there's other books I recommend on my business page to read. When you have your vibration raised, you'll notice your environment has a raised vibration. And or you will be able to watch events, and you'll be able to watch them as an observer, not think emotionally with them. You can detach from the emotions. I can do that with the news now. I really generally turn it on mostly for the weather, which I sometimes just look up and don't do it. But when I do watch it, I watch it detached for the most part, unless it's a good story. Or if someone has gone through something, I will send them compassion and empathy, like a news story, like a fire or an accident or something. I'll send them empathy and compassion, but I don't get, oh, the world's such a horrible place feeling. I don't get, I can observe it like I'm watching it in a not a disinterested way, but in a distant way, like I'm looking at it through a screen. Not that I'm a part of it. But again, I'll send that energy to it because that transforms. What you're sending from the inside transforms the outside. Now, we're all learning this as a population, as a species. So that's why things are changing. And notice the whispers of change. People are eating better. They're giving up. Not, by the way, there's nothing wrong with drinking that is not that is unhealthy. But there are people going, I don't want coffee anymore. I don't want alcohol anymore. I eat more plant-based now. The violence has gone down. It has gone down in our streets, on our streets. And so, but people go, oh, the world today, it's the worst it's ever been. That is their belief. That is what they wish to believe. And so they see evidence of it. So work on how you feel within, and also note what part of you is violent, that wants to see violence to confirm violence for you. What part of you is enraged and wants evidence of it? See, I'm right. See? We like evidence. But evidence responds to us, our inner feeling. And that's how the universe is set up for us. That is how God sets things up for us. What you ask for, you get. Ask and you shall receive. And we always think, oh, it's about stuff maybe, or healing. Yes, it's about that too. But it's also about how the harm you wish would happen to another. You don't want to give evidence of around you seeing harm. I watch my boomerangs as much as I possibly can, being a human, but I'm pretty good at it now because I practice it all the time. And I also just want to end this podcast today with saying again the word trust. When it comes for what you ask for, trust that it's yours. Be certain. And then live it. If you want peace, live it with trust. The world's peaceful. I'm peaceful. If you want wealth, you gotta walk around like you're wealthy. That doesn't mean that you roll up the debt or do something like that. That's what it means. Is it's about a feeling. Walk into a room with your shoulders up, with a confidence, with an empowerment. If you do feel you have money matters currently, or let's say physical evidence shows you do, remember that is from our inside, and it's last. The physical is always last to change. Try as much as you can to treat yourself to that one nice sweater, the one pair of shoes. I just corrected myself. Today, actually, I haven't informed yet that I've corrected myself. But I have a family member that is asking, after only 4 months, for an expensive pair of sneakers. Well, saying they need more. They're not asking me for them. They were just proclaiming, I need another pair of shoes. And my reaction was, these are supposed to last a while. And you're going through them. Maybe you should consider another pair. And then I woke up. Well, I didn't even necessarily just sleep on it. I spent 24 hours later, I'll say I went, What I'm saying is that I have a problem with spending money on them. Go ahead. Give them what they asked for. It will be all right. So I caught myself, right? But baby steps are fine. Take baby steps, little at a time. Don't wear the holy socks. Sometimes it's small. Declutter, making room for more of what you truly would ask for. Don't keep things you're not wearing because you might need them at some point. These are all signs of where we are on the inside. And trust that you are provided for, because you are. Trust that you are provided for, always will be, will always get the answers, and then go with the flow with that trust and watch things line up for you. It's so, so very important. and circulate as much as you can. Circulate goods, circulate services, circulate money. Because there's this wonderful little pamphlet out there called Money is God in Action. It is. You would not think of it. We're not taught that, but we were taught in error. It's another way that God shows itself. Probably another podcast topic. But for today, I leave you with this. And I want you to pay attention to what makes you react. Pay attention to what you say, like I did. Pay attention to how your environment is backing up how you feel. Because it is, even if you feel it's not conscious, it's subconscious. It is. Now again, if you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're on any other platform and can like, please do. And if you have a suggestion for a topic, please email me at serenityharbor@verizon.net. Thank you again on this wonderful day. It's Palm Sunday for those who celebrate Palm Sunday. Acknowledge it. And until next time, there'll be a special episode for Easter, but will be interfaith because everything is interfaith, truly. So until next time, many blessings.